Could you reflect on the last game and then be fast forward into this one? Because it's a big stretch for you guys potentially to get on a roll.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously the last game was not one of our better ones. Could have done a lot of things better, especially starting with me and probably how we managed practice leading up to that game. 4 out of 5 on the road. We've been in every game, but we haven't been able to close it on the road. So our kids' effort's been good. Just not doing the things in this league that you have to do. A rebound here, a shot here, defensive mistake, stuff like that. And yeah, we're into a really tough stretch. Not that they're all not tough, I guess, but now you play the top 3 teams in the league. So 3 weeks to go in the regular season and some great opportunities in front of us. And hopefully, we took a couple days off and hopefully got some physical and mental rest probably. So we had a good practice yesterday, so certainly need one today. And the Saturday, I guess they're not double headers, but Saturday day-night double headers are always fun. Looks like the weather's going to cooperate and the way the guys are playing, and hopefully it's one of those days that our fans enjoy, that spend the day here, and hopefully we can do our part.
So, Coach, I wanted to go more into your actual over break that you guys had that was actually planned, not like the TCU one, or just all of a sudden popped up on you guys. How do you feel you guys really took that advantage to use this week after following that loss to UCF to really prepare for what's ahead?
The bye week is always, you can always look at it a lot of different ways. Some people say it comes at a great time. Some people say it comes at a terrible time. I think for our team, it probably came at a good time. We're playing a lot of kids that have never been through this before. Their bodies are probably telling them the season should be over. We still have a little ways to go. And when you don't have success, sometimes that certainly can wear on you. And just so happened, that the way the TCU game fell and then it results in 4 out of 5 on the road. And, it is what it is. But I think for our team, and I've said this before, basketball is one of the few sports that you compete both semesters. So, we're kind of just into the first wave of school getting a little harder, as you guys know. And so I think it's probably good, that, all right, we gave Monday off. Tuesday was, just some light shooting and ease into it and practice. Right now all the practices, hopefully you go into, they're hard and they're short. And now you have 3 weeks sprint to the finish line, and it's February and it's fun to be playing games that still matter. I told them the other day there's 350-ish Division I teams, and there's probably 250 of them that are playing Saturday because they have to. We still have a lot of opportunities, and probably unless it's some kind of tournament. Last time we're going to play Oklahoma. So there's a lot of things involved, but certainly excited to be back home.
And I want to go into more about AJ's performance on Saturday. I mean, obviously, post-game, Oklahoma State, we kind of talked about Caitlin Peterson, how she was one of the better scorers in our league. And I just want to talk about, you saw all game, she really, strapped down on Peterson, really didn't allow her to shoot a lot. Couldn't you go more in depth on how she played on her on Saturday?
No, AJ's by far our best perimeter defender. She has embraced that role on our team, has had to guard some really good players. She's tough-minded, she's smart. Physically, she can handle this level and guard a perimeter player. So I have no problem, going into every game saying, the person that AJ is going to guard is going to be a really good player. And that's a tribute to her. I think it's a credit to her understanding the best way probably for her to help our team is to give us some perimeter defense, and she's been really good. I knew she'd get defense. She's actually a lot better, to be honest with you, than I thought she'd be at this, as a freshman. But you got to want to do it first. Most young people, when they come in, They can't spell defense, let alone want to play it. So she wants to play it. She enjoys it. And she does it every day. Like, she has to guard our scout team guys who are really good players. And she sticks her nose in there and competes, and it shows up on game day.
And obviously, we talk about this Saturday's matchup. It's pretty significant that you see that Aubrey Jones coming back for the first time to Hilton since she transferred to Oklahoma. How big do you think this will be, just in terms of her family with Kelsey playing against her sister?
I don't know. I mean, that's the world we live in now. With the portal, you're going to see a lot of people that were on each other's teams, and I'm sure there'll be some family banter, and whoever plays better gets the bragging rights at the dinner table, I guess. So, I don't know how they'll handle it, but the thing that about the Joneses is that they're going to compete, and Aubrey will, and I'm sure Kelsey will as well.
So entering this game, Oklahoma is riding a 7-game win streak. They're a good team on the road. They're a first-place team in the Big 12. Just what sort of challenges did the Sooners present?
No, I think a couple things. Number one, they're playing obviously better than anyone in our league. They're playing as well as anyone in the country. When you think about it, when you go to Texas and play the way they played, and then turn around and beat Kansas State at home, that you can say a lot, but that says it right there in 1 week. We're used to what Jenny's done at Drake. Obviously same thing. They're going to play hard. They're going to play fast. They're going to play a lot of players. And Skylar Van probably, if you voted tonight, might be the Big 12 Player of the Year. She's playing at a ridiculously high level in the last 5, 6, probably during their winning streak. So, they didn't have probably the non-conference year that they wanted to, but a credit to them that the way they're playing now is certainly significant and has put themselves in a really, really good spot to challenge for the championship.
You mentioned earlier that not having success can wear on a team. How do you put that in perspective or communicate that to a young team that losing Big 12 road games is kind of just part of the deal?
Yeah, no, it's a great question because most of our kids, they're used to winning a lot. And I think what happens is you have to, you obviously use examples from previous teams. You use examples of anything you can in life that, hey, not every day you're going to get an A on the test, but it doesn't mean you quit working at it. And so you just talk a lot about that. And I think the other thing is you work really hard to manage how you practice and how you prepare and really make them understand what's ahead. And to be honest with you, I tell them, turn your phones off. Don't listen to the outside noise. Sometimes you got to close ranks a little bit. Our team has probably been as unique a journey with a young team as we started out really, really well, and now you lose 4 out of 5, and the world's in a completely different place. So I think the maturity that goes with that, and I think the last thing, Trav, would be you got to rely on your older kids. Like, hey, this is going to happen. No one's. I don't care who you are. When you play in this league, and you look at what's happening on the men's side, you look at it doesn't matter. You just can't. You can't let it consume you, and you can't really. The last thing I would say is I try really hard to tell them don't feel sorry for yourself, because no one feels sorry for you. You just got to keep showing up, and because I think showing up is a skill. I think finishing is a skill, and like I said, our kids have shown up every single night and played hard. We have not played well. We need to coach better, but we've been in the games. So now it's just what can we do in practice to facilitate a different result.
I know there were times in the past where you talked about Emily's ability to coach, whether it be from the bench or whether it be in off-season stuff. But now that her minutes are ramping up, now that she's contributing more production-wise, has that even augmented that? I mean, is she like an old-school player coach right now?
Yeah,
Sort of,
no.
'cause she's playing a lot and
Yeah,
winning
no,
games also.
nothing's changed. I mean, she's doing all the things that she was doing, but now I mean, you're not old, you guys aren't old enough, but I remember when they used to be player coaches, and Bill Russell and Bob Cousy and Casey Jones, and these guys are like, who? Hey. Yeah, you know, I don't know that TJ could be a player coach, but yeah, I do. I think that's part of it, and you know, I think it's helped everyone. But yeah, her demeanor and what she's doing is the same. It's just physically she's doing it between the lines a little bit more than she was at the beginning of the year.
We have a message to your players about getting the opportunity to play in front of so many of the greats to ever play at Iowa State this weekend.
Yeah, I think the last thing I told them last Saturday, and the last thing I'll probably tell them when we go on the court this Saturday, is you know we obviously are blessed here with the fan base that we have, but I think this weekend, when you talk about the celebration of 50 years of women's basketball and the people that literally started this whole thing, and then so many of the players that we've had the honor to coach are going to be here, and you can, from Tara Gunnarsson, the very first point guard, to Stacy and Angie and Mary Fox, and I don't, there's too many to name, but it's like, every single one of those kids, they're my kids, would love to do it one more time. And our 12 get to do it Saturday. And my thing would be, you need to go out there and play so that they look at you and go, yeah, that's the way we do things here. And whether you win, whether you lose, whatever. But if the 50+ people that I see after the game don't feel that way, then we have the wrong people in the locker room, and I should be done coaching. Because there's very few things more important to me than that. The legacy of our team and it's our job, my job, until I'm done here, that the people that did it the way they did it will never be forgotten, and we're going to do it the way they want it to be done and the way they did it. And that's non-negotiable for me.